Let's take a look at the contemporary language situation in South Africa. There are 11 national languages in South Africa. Afrikaans is one of them and is the first language of the white people of Dutch origin. It is also a symbol of identity for the Afrikaners. Afrikaners is also used as the first language by many colored people in South Africa. English is the first language of the white people of the British origin and enjoys the most privilege and prestige in South Africa. The situation of English in South Africa is very interesting. It seems to belong to two of the concentric circles in Kachru's model of world Englishes. It seems to belong to both the inner circle and the outer circle. If you remember, Kachru's concentric circles have inner circle people. The circles include, in the inner circle, countries which use English as their native language. In South Africa, we have many British white people who use English as their native language. In Kachru's model, outer circle comprises countries where English is an official language and is used for official purposes and for many functional purposes. It has a functional role in the outer circle countries. In South Africa, we see that English is used as a second language by a large number of population, including the local black population and also many of the immigrants, including Indians, and also many of the Afrikaners. So it belongs to these two circles of Kachru's model. English used by the whites of British background make something like 4.9 million of the total population, which is 9.6% of the total population, which means English is not really the language of the majority in South Africa. But it is being increasingly used by the black population because of the same reasons that it is becoming popular in the entire world, its value for international trade and for exercising some international presence in the world. Although Afrikaners have always been very resentful of the British people and also of English, they have started taking up English considering its value for upward mobility. So roughly, there are 11 million users of English as a second language in South Africa. We see a continuum of accents in South Africa. There are speakers of English whose English is influenced by Afrikaans. Then we have speakers of English whose language is influenced by the British received pronunciation, and these include mostly the British native English speakers and also some Indian speakers, especially the second, third generation of Indian immigrants in South Africa. English spoken in South Africa is also influenced by the indigenous languages and African languages. The varieties of English that we see in South Africa display the same apartheid attitude or prejudice that is distinct in South African life otherwise. So we have white South African English, then we have black South African English, Indian South African English, and also colored South African English. Despite having so many varieties, gradually a homogeneous accent has also emerged in South Africa, which seems to be very close to Australian English. English in South Africa has all the uses which have been discussed by Kachru in one of his models. So, English is used for interpersonal purposes, which means English is the language of the elite. It is used for upward social mobility and is also used for intercommunal or communication within communities or also between different communities. It also has several instrumental purposes, which means that it is the language of education. English also has regulative purposes, which means it is used in the domain of government, in administration, media, and in legal system.